Good everyone, thanks for joining Midday. I'm sorry, of course this is Lisa. I don't know why I said Alison, it's Friday.
I don't know,
It's Friday. Maybe you were thinking of
Well,
Wild Time.
no, I will tell you. I think I've got a bit of a sugar overhaul because I went to Trader Joe's the other day and I bought these things called Dunkers, D-U-N-K-E-R-S, and you dunk them in your coffee.
Oh yeah, those
Wow,
are good.
let me I've probably eaten 15 this
What, they're
morning.
donuts? They're
No, they're like a crunchy biscuit.
Chocolate
Oh,
biscuit.
okay.
Yeah, and you dunk it in your coffee. And I've only had one cup of coffee, but probably 15 dunkers. So I'm a little bit twitchy, let me tell you.
And we have two different types of brownies that were baked by people in the newsroom out there. Oh, how
Which
much
ones?
sugar
Who
high
baked the
too.
best ones?
Echo,
Oh,
amazing,
Echo, our
morning
amazing.
Good
Morning
yeah,
America.
she's our
She is
producer in the
awesome.
morning. She's a baking god.
I get you. Oh, she's a good cook?
Oh,
Why
she's
did I ever get into
amazing.
that?
She's
She is.
amazing. Well, she doesn't like you. No, I'm kidding. You come in later, so usually all the treats are gone by the time you get there because her stuff is so,
So our
good.
viewers will really now believe you don't like me.
Well, you actually, I have to hide it from Troy because we try to motivate each other to not eat things like that because we're always on a diet and then we quit. So I purposely will eat the brownies before Troy comes in, and when he walks by my desk, I'll hide it.
And we wonder why we have a possum in the building.
No, I don't leave the crumbs. I eat all of it. Yeah.
Anyway, back to another topic about food, let me tell you. McDonald's has officially introduced a delivery service and it's called McDelivery. Well, the promo says, are you loving it? We're loving it. I'm telling you, I'm not. To make McDelivery happen, the fast food chain partnered with Uber Eats, an online meal ordering and delivery platform. Now, it's beginning today for customers in Chicago, Los Angeles, Columbus, and Phoenix. You can order your food, and of course, it gets delivered. Have you ever used Uber?
no,
What's it called?
Uber Eats.
I've done
No,
Uber
I
Eats in
haven't.
Oh, you've
Columbus.
done it?
They don't have it here in Lexington.
Here's the thing, though, people. Just say you felt like a cheeseburger. I'm happy to get in the car and
Right.
go and buy them a 99-cent cheeseburger.
Right.
Okay? You order on Uber Eats, it's $5 for the delivery
$5, yeah.
and $1 for the cheeseburger. $6.
Right.
Why
That
would you
wouldn't
bother?
It wouldn't make any sense to do that. But if you were feeding a large group of people, maybe a kid's birthday party or something like that, and you wanted to have it delivered, it would be convenient in that regard.
And guess what? I want to say another thing. It'll be cold by the time it got to you.
Yes, it will.
McDonald's chips aren't good cold.
They're
Cheeseburgers
fries.
are not good
Yeah.
cold. Oh, what do you call them?
We call them French fries.
Those are good cold.
Really?
But I really like Uber Eats and just kind of the philosophy of that, where you can get anything delivered. Because we do pizza delivery, Chinese
Yes,
but
delivery,
you can now.
you can do Chipotle Uber Eats in the markets that they offer it. And I want to see that here. I would order that here to the station.
Yeah, for a
that's true.
party or anything like that.
Hey,
I think
listen,
it'd be-
my
McDonald's,
friend.
though, I
Yeah.
don't think I'd be doing
Just
delivery
Chick-fil-A?
McDonald's. No, but I would definitely do that.
Yeah, we would do that,
I'd
let me
for
tell
sure
you.
do that.
Chick-fil-A. We've got something new coming up on Monday from Chick-fil-A.
Ah.
It's going to be pretty good, my friends. Hey, talking about food. And
Again. Our favorite
which,
topic,
it's
right?
Friday, people. You know, I know when I was growing up, grandma were the best people in your life, but this is proof that grandparents are a cause of obesity when it comes to kids.
Well, we always suspected it. Everyone suspects this, and now we have the actual proof. A new Chinese study claims that children who live closer to their grandparents are more obese.
Really?
And it doesn't come to a surprise for me, at least. I mean, I have two children, and every time they go to grandma's house, they
Well,
come
what's she
back.
feeding them?
Oh, she feeds them. What is she not feeding them, I think is the
But also at the wrong time. You were saying, I think I heard you say ice cream for breakfast.
Yes. Well, you know, she does like to spoil my kids, and so
Okay.
she, you know, my son, she just can't. She can't say no to her grandchildren. She really can't. He wants ice cream. She's going to give it to him.
Okay, well, I also think, you know, my grandma was pretty good at feeding us big meals, you know, the 3 veg and blah, blah, blah. But she gave me some great treats.
Yes.
You know, we all go to grandma for the things that we know we're not going to get at home.
Exactly.
Like the soda and, you know, the sweets.
Yep.
And the nice cakes
Yep.
with the big rich icing, which your own mother doesn't want to make because she doesn't have time.
Yeah.
So what happens is grandma, who is at home. She's making all the good stuff.
Right.
But what are the facts on this?
Well, what they did, it was a study done by the University of Birmingham in England, and they looked at a region of China, the Guangzhou southern area of China, and what they found was that migrants that were living in China, a lot of the migrants are moving more to the cities, the inner cities, because there's more economic opportunity there.
Gotcha.
But what they found was when they were living so far away from their grandparents and family members that were in the city, when they're living rural like that, they actually were not gaining as much weight. But when they started migrating to the cities and they're around grandparents and the child care where the grandparents are watching the children more, these migrant workers were now the children were starting to gain weight. So that is what they looked at, and there was a significant amount of weight that they looked at that children were
Doesn't
gaining.
mean you should give up seeing your grandparents. every
Absolutely
time.
not,
Yes.
of course not. But they also looked at not only the proximity, but they also looked at affluence also of the family and the education level of the family. And they did find that, of course, and this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, that obesity is higher with families that are in a lower education bracket and that families that are poor too.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. The older generation, you're on a fixed income if you've retired and things like that. And every time you see your grandkids, hopefully you get to see them all the time.
Right.
I mean, you can't. Who can afford to buy a gift every time? But you can afford those donuts that, the grandchild will. And I think that was, my grandparents, too. They were on a very tight fixed income.
Yes.
But every time I saw them, they had a treat for me that was like $1 million smile it would put on my face. So, I think that they see them all the time, and that's
We see what you're like when you get a
inexpensive.
treat.
Oh, I love it.
But she brings up a
But
good
I think
point.
that's something you can afford to do all the time.
Exactly. And the thing that they mentioned in the study too is that because some of the families are poorer or they have less money, maybe a controlled income, is that they had less access to better food, and they were getting more processed foods that are higher in fat. And so that kind of lends to what you just said as well. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Well, we've got that story up on our Facebook page. Maybe you might like to go over there, read the whole story, and then tell us what your thoughts are. Another interesting topic that's happening right now. Did you say in England?
Yeah. Are we moving oth of food?
Yeah, we're moving
Okay.
off of food
Oh, darn.
into
Okay.
relationships.
Our other favorite topic.
This is what we seem to talk about here. Thruppling parenting.
Thrippling, yes.
Thrippling.
I saw this article
Well,
on
a
the
throuple is
Daily
money.
Mail, so I had to ask you guys your thoughts. And this is something we've heard of before, but I just wanted to bring this back up. It's called thrippling. This man is in a relationship with two women, his two girlfriends. They live together.
He's not
and
married to them, though.
He's not married to them, and both girlfriends are pregnant, and they're right now both pregnant, and they're going to raise their children together. And he says that this is the future of parenting, thrippling.
I bet he is saying that.
Kind of wanted your thoughts on this. My thoughts are, whatever they want to do is fine. But would you ever be game for something like this in your life? And do you think that could be the future of parenting? Would we see this as the new norm? I would never be. I think I'm way too jealous of a person.
I
to
am
do
too.
that.
I am too. I would never be
I
down
just,
with
like,
this
never could.
whatsoever.
Let's be real. People are still getting used to two gay men having children now, let alone having a man and two women. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be real. But it has gone on in the Mormon culture
Right.
for many years. Look, I don't really care. I've often thought, and as a single gay man, and I think to myself, what would happen to me in my 70s? I know you're shocked that I'm gay. You were like, what? But
You're not 70?
that's what you're shocked about. I think to myself, I wonder what it'll be like for me in my 70s. Okay, so because I'm never going to have children, I know that. I probably would never get married because that's not really my thing. So I think to myself, would they become a sexual relationship, this couple, after they've had the kids later in life? Okay, so how do we know that they've actually had intercourse to have the babies? Do you know what I'm saying? But they're a couple.
Well, he impregnated them.
Yes, but they might not have been having sex.
Oh,
do you know
I
what
see
I
what
mean?
you're
Do you
saying.
see what I'm saying? So what I think to myself, I don't mind the thought. Remember, I don't know whether you know the Golden Girls, the show.
Yes.
Okay, the four women living in the house in
Right.
their 70s, are they classed as a couple or a throuple? Or I don't see.
Quadruple.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that thought.
Yeah.
I just wonder how it's acted on a daily basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, you
I
know
couldn't
what?
do it.
Honestly,
I don't know.
It would be kind of nice to have an extra person there to help out with certain things,
I,
in daily
that's what I
routines.
think as well.
I mean, you know, but as far as a sexual relationship, though,
Yeah,
I couldn't
that's
do
what
that.
I'm
I'm
like,
too jealous, and I just wouldn't be. But you know, having extra help, kind of like a manny or a nanny, you know, that would be, you know, that'd be welcome in my household as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I just think that, you know, as we've always said, each to your own, you have your own choices and views and thoughts. But I think that I don't have an issue with that.
Oh, I don't
really
have an
don't.
issue with
Yeah.
it, but I don't
I
think
don't
what he
know.
said that will be the future of parenting here in the near future, because the future of parenting would imply, you know, the younger generation is moving towards that. You know, I'm not married, but I want to be married. I want to have kids with one man. At the thought of like a third person being there, I'd rather be single. I would never be okay with that. I have no problem with them doing it if it works for them, but
Right.
ugh.
But here's the thing, it's so funny how what you were just saying, that you are a traditionalist when it comes to that way of life, you know,
Okay.
married, having a child, blah, blah, blah. But the younger generation, let's be real, is that there is no longer, you're no longer being put into that box.
Right.
I'm straight, I'm homosexual, I'm a lesbian, there's so
Yeah.
many
That's true.
The lines
boxes
are
that they
very
all,
ambiguous.
I get so confused. You know, I don't even know what so who knows where it's going? All I can say is if you keep an open mind
Yeah.
and you are respectful of someone's choices, it can be a much happier world.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
That's the
so
way I
too.
look at it.
I think so too.
Speaking of this as well, looking at men's body shapes.
If you haven't been having the donuts, you may look like this ideal
Yeah.
shape.
So here's the world has they are world-class athletes who dominate their respective sports. So it's perhaps of a little surprise that Usain Bolt and Cristiano Ronaldo
Oh,
are
I
role
love him.
models for many men. Now we often talk about how women are judged on their body shapes.
Right,
Okay, we all
yes.
talk about it. Now men do as well. And I
Okay.
thought this was an interesting topic. But it's not just their athletic ability that men want to emulate. A study has revealed that both Bolt and Ronaldo have the body shape most men desired.
And what is that?
I'm going to bring it up.
okay.
Let's have a look.
Let's take a look at it.
So there's oval, triangle, rectangle, rhombard, and inverted triangle. Rhomboid is the word. Okay, so
I like rhomboid.
looking at this men's body shapes, what do you think would be the ideal shape for your preference?
Oh gosh,
Rhomboid.
I would say the
see?
middle. What's the middle
That's
one?
rectangle. You're on it because guess what? 42% of men want that body shape.
The rectangle, not the
rectangle.
big buff kind
Yeah,
of
no,
triangle.
David Beckham and Gerard Butler. That's the ideal body shape. All the men in our studio are fixated on this now. They're like,
And they all look like that too.
well, let's not get carried away.
They're okay.
We should bring them all out on camera. Come on, we'll shock everyone. Number 2, which if we could just go back, James Corden and Elton John, oval. Who'd want to be oval? I think I'm oval.
Me too.
I always thought you were a man. No. We're talking about men's shapes. 26%. Triangle, David Williams and Michael McIntyre. I don't know who that is, Michael McIntyre. That doesn't look too bad, 14%.
No. What one was that? What is that?
Triangle.
Okay.
Rhomboid. Is it rhomboid or rhombard?
Rumbled, I think. I like
Okay.
that one.
Okay, so this is another one, 13%.
That's what
Only
Michael looks like.
Who?
Your boyfriend.
I like the rumbled.
Okay, and who wants to look, are you ready? Usain Bolt and Cristiano Ronaldo, 5% of men look like this.
See, I don't really like that look.
Well, it's called an inverted triangle.
And that's the
Don't-
ideal look, they say?
That's the ideal look that but only 5% of men look like that.
Well, I'll rephrase. Of course, I like it. It's nice to look at. But in terms of, I like someone that's a little more realistic.
Well, that's the
looking.
ideal male body, everyone. That's the ideal male body. All right.
According to men,
Well-
right? That's what men are striving to look like.
Yeah.
Was this study? This isn't women saying what they want. This is what
Well, what
men
did you
are
like?
striving to look like. I like the rumbled.
Oh.
I like the
And she liked the rectangle.
Okay, you did. Oh, that was number one.
But
okay,
men
interesting.
want to look like that inverted
Ah,
triangle,
look,
which is interesting.
all I care about is 20 pounds lighter, and I'm happy. Let me tell you. Hey, something that you brought up was talking about fitted tees and shorty shorts.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. I saw this online, and we talk a lot about body image and what young girls or boys are
Just did.
yeah, pressured into. And there's a new designer that has a 12-year-old girl, and she came out with a new fashion line because she felt there weren't any appropriate options for young girls that are about 12 years old. If you go into a lot of these stores, they're short shorts, fitted tight tees. So
That is true,
they
Katie.
are.
and it
You're
is
right, you're
true.
right.
Whenever I'll be in Kohl's or even
Yeah.
TJ Maxx or any of these stores, for the little girls, the only options.
Or they've got furries, or they've got leopard print. and-
yeah,
Yes.
they hyper generalize
Yeah.
the gender. And so, what do you guys think? These are some of her new T-shirts
I
and
love
things like
them.
that. And
So do
I
I.
love
Yep.
that.
Love
that
it.
there's
So
that
do I.
option because I think it's everywhere you go. You really don't see that. I mean, you can always buy a size up, so it's not tight, but it's kind of the cut of it. And I had never really thought of that before. And I think that
Well, you've
those
got two
options aren't
boys.
available.
I have two boys, but I had two nieces that when they were younger too. I mean, the clothing, even back then, and this was probably what, 12 to 14 years ago, that they were wearing little kids' clothing, and it was all like, I mean, it was risque. My niece Ashley, actually, she was probably maybe 7, wanted a leopard skin skirt, and we refused. Her mother refused,
Yeah.
and then she turned to me and wanted me to do it. I was like, I am not buying you a leopard skin skirt. I'm sorry, and it was a mini skirt.
I hear you.
I
I
mean,
hear you.
I just, I think
hear
it's
you.
a little too risky. I
Yeah.
love the clothing.
Tell us what
that
you
they
think.
have.
Did you put that on Facebook?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
or if we haven't, we'll put it on after
Okay.
the show. Hey, coming up after the break, we'll sit down with Allianz Medical and Home Care to chat about an upcoming job fair that will be of interest to all of you nurses out there. Stick with us, everyone. You're watching Midday Kentucky.